everybody, it's Chris Eads, known online as Wootini, here with another Gay Gamer video podcast for y'all. Lots to cover because I wasn't around last week, so I got 2 weeks to cover. And that's because last weekend I went to see the Odyssey in IMAX. Because the only time on opening weekend where I could get a decent seat was on Sunday afternoon. Actually, no, it was like Sunday at 10 a.m. It was horrible. I had to get up early on a Sunday just so I could go to the movies. But it's good because it was a 3-hour-long movie, so I, didn't lose my entire afternoon or evening. I would have loved to obviously see it in 70mm IMAX, but those showings sell out and forget it. I'm not sitting in the front row because who wants to see it like this, Basically, the movie is amazing. They don't make movies like this anymore, except Christopher Nolan just did. But, no one else makes movies like this. No one will, because it's too huge, it's too expensive. A cast of thousands. You don't see movies like this. But it's suitably epic, As befitting the source material, it is very epic. And on a big IMAX screen, impressive visually. Obviously, the story is Odysseus trying to make his way home. Everyone knows the story. It's told very well. The actors are terrific. It's a little distracting sometimes when somebody will pop up as a character and you're like, oh, that's so and so. But then everybody does a good job with their characters. But what's really amazing is the visuals. It's just visually stunning. And I feel because the majority of the effects are practical and everything is real, the CGI actually works better, because everything around it is real. It's a real boat. There's real actors on a real boat in real water, in the real ocean, so that just feels more real. So when a CGI creature attacks the boat, you're like, okay, that looks real, because it helps make it look more real than when everything is all CGI cartoons and it has this air of artificiality about it and you can't get invested in it because it doesn't feel real. So bravo to Christopher Nolan. It's a very impressive movie. I do recommend seeing this in a theater in as big a screen as humanly possible for maximum effect. Then, this weekend, I kept the theme going, and I went to see Hadestown the musical, which was they filmed a production in the West End, London, with a lot of the original cast of the show came back and did this version. And it's basically the story of Persephone and Hades and Orpheus and what's her name, Eurydice, and but done in this steampunk Depression era kind of milieu, and it was good. It was in theaters for a limited time, just for not even a full week. So I was like, let me go, let me check it out. Why not? Because it's cheaper than going to see it on Broadway, and this is the original cast, so that's better. Everybody was amazing. Andre DeShields was fabulous, and I believe he won a Tony for this, and well deserved. The one I didn't like was Reeve Carney. His falsetto singing kind of irked me for some reason, and he just didn't have as much oomph as the other characters. But I guess that's because Orpheus is kind of meh. So I guess he was doing a good job then. I don't know. He just didn't have as much presence as the other leads. The staging is fabulous. The sets, the costumes, the choreography, everything is just really very impressive. But the songs, like they work in the musical, like as part of the production, telling the story. The songs are good, but they're nothing that you're gonna like leave humming or want to listen to separately apart from the show. I feel like they only work for me in the show. But I tell you to check it out, but it's already gone from theaters probably, so oh well, maybe it'll show up streaming somewhere, who knows. As for games, I know that I'm in the middle of the sinking city, yet I can't resist checking the sales when they pop up. I did actually happen to check the Xbox sales, and Microsoft had Avowed on sale, but it was like $40, and I'm like, well, that's not really that cheap, so never mind. But Sony had Cyberpunk on sale again for $20. And I was like, should I get it? And I'm like, no, you're in the middle of the game right now. You're not going to play it for a while, at least another month. Like, don't do it. Because the thing is like, it was $20 like a month or so ago, and it's $20 again now. And I'm pretty sure that in a month or so, when I'm ready, when I am in the market for a new game, it'll probably be $20 again around that time. Or maybe even cheaper. Maybe it'll be $16.99, I don't know. So, like, that wasn't a price that made me go, I have to grab this while it's super cheap. On the other hand, because I'm enjoying the sinking city, I looked up to see what other... I know that Frogware did these Sherlock Holmes games. So I went to look up the Sherlock Holmes games, and there's like 4 or 5 of them in the PlayStation Store, and one of them, Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1, was on sale for $4.50, marked down from $45 to $4.50. Like, it's a 90% off sale, and that is an amazing price, so I grabbed that. It's basically it's very similar. Like, I'm not going to play that next. You know, I want to play something different because it's basically the same game. You know, you explore an open world area, though it's much prettier than the sinking city and all the Lovecraftian gore and nonsense. You explore this lovely island and solve mysteries and have little action sequences as little Twinkie Sherlock Holmes. But it's the same kind of game, so I don't want to play this next, but for $4.50, I was going to grab it while it was $4.50. So I'll play something else, and then I can play that. But I didn't want to play it right after the Sinking City because it's kind of the same game. We'll see what happens. Because I am playing a lot of the Sinking City. I checked a walkthrough, and I just finished the quest that's like the halfway point. And because I was in the middle of this quest and I checked and I saw that it was about like the halfway point of the main quests, I was like, okay, now that I have all of these... Oh, first, I do want to mention, there was one mission in this quest, this case, part of the case, one of the things you had to go to this location and fight your way through this building up to the top floor, and it was not just monsters, it was like people, clan members, Ku Klux Klan members, some with a hood, some not, and so you're fighting all these guys, and you get to the top, and there's the Grand Wizard, who's like an a-hole, and as soon as you finish this conversation, he attacks you, and he has like backup, and they have like shotguns and whatever, and so all of a sudden they start shooting at me, and before I could even get, like, I got like one shot off, and it was like 3 against 1, and I was dead. And I was like, motherfucker. And as the game was reloading, it takes a very long time to reload, so I had plenty of time to think, all right, well, hopefully I don't have to sit through the whole conversation again, and it'll just start with the fight part, and then maybe I can like try to like just dodge out of the way and then shoot them, and hopefully I can manage it. I don't know. And then suddenly, when the game reloaded and I restarted, I was outside by the phone booth safe spot. And I was like, what the hell? And I was like, please don't tell me I have to do that whole building all over again. That'd be such a pain in the ass. And then all of a sudden, the key evidence collected, all evidence collected, popped up on the screen, and I'm like, oh, okay, because all I had to do was talk to him, and I got the information I needed to continue investigating, and I was like, oh, okay. And I'm like, I guess presumably I could go back inside and try to kill him, but I might have to fight everybody. They might have all respawned, so I might have to fight everybody to get back up there again. And I didn't really feel like doing that, because you don't get experience for killing humans, only monsters, which sucks. So I said, you know what? As much as I would like to kill the clan members and the Grand Wizard of the clan, I'll just leave him to the monsters. I'm sure a monster will get him at some point. So I had to leave him alive. I just didn't have the wherewithal to go back in. But I did start doing some side quests, and I understand why the articles I read about this game suggested doing a bunch of the main quests to get the better weapons, then go do the side quests, because there's a lot of monsters in these side quests. So it helped that I had the shotgun and the rifle to take care of some of them. And during one of them, I thought there was this policeman who was like, hey, could you help me out and like take pictures of these various crime scenes for me, as part of like a private investigation he was doing on his own, not actual police work. And when I got to the final one, it turns out that the reason he was investigating this is because one of these murder victims was let's say a very special friend. And I was like, aw. And then when you go to talk to him about the case, and you're like, here are the pictures I took, and I kind of understand you're close with this guy, and he's all like, oh, he understood me the way no one else can, don't judge me, whatever. And I was just like, oh, look at this, like a little bit of like, homosexuality in the 30s. It's, obviously living under the radar and stuff and whatever, but it was a nice surprise to see that in this game, even as just a small part of a side quest. And in doing the side quests, I wanted to do that so that I could get more experience, so that I could unlock more skills and make it easier to play the main game and do all the main quests. But also in doing these side quests, I have unlocked like extra bonus outfits that I can wear, which is fun. And when I got the Sherlock Holmes outfit, I was like, yes, please, we are wearing that. And of course, while it looks fabulous on the costume selection screen, in-game, not so much. But what are you going to do? It's an old game playing on the Switch. It's, it's fine. But I didn't play as much of that as I would have liked, because last week there was the new update to Infinity Nikki. So, and this was a big story update with like a big story that has like multiple chapters to it that you work your way through. And there's a new ability that you have to learn, and it's a procedure. And so there's this whole new place. You explore Heaven's Reach, which is this big city full of like robots that run around and maintain the city. And there's also these Shroomseras, which are like a variation of Shroomlings, but they're weird and there's something odd about them. And you gain the machine control ability so that you can manipulate the various machines around the city and either turn them off or on, to make them move for you to help get you places, or to turn them off so that you can get past them or whatever, So like that helps you solve the puzzles, as you work your way through to uncover the truth, because obviously there is something amiss. It is not this utopia, and the Shroomseras are, clearly being used. And I just, yesterday, got to the part where the game confirmed the story, this character confirmed, and they're like, hey, yeah, no, this isn't, they're not going to the promised land or whatever, it's, they're going to be killed. And, I saw that coming a mile off, because this is Infinity Nikki. There's always it's super cute and lovely, but there's this dark undertone to everything. So I knew there was something afoot. So, but then after I finished that whole story section, then I got the pop-up thing that was like, hey, you're about to enter a section of the game where you can't like do other things. You're going to be locked into the story for a bit, so make sure you have time. And I'm like, I do not right now, so let me do that tomorrow. So we'll go back to that. But I did play a lot of Nikki because of the new update and exploring the new place and everything. I got all into that, so there was a little less Sinking City, and then I also played less Disney, but that's fine because I finished the Star Path. Finally, like it was the end of the Star Path, and I did the last of the routine duties so that I could get the final reward, which was this Olympian house, which is like, I put it down for like, it only lasted like a day. I just didn't like it. It's too much clouds. So I didn't care for it. I swapped it out like almost immediately. I didn't like it. But there was also this picture quest thing that they did where like once a day, there would be a character that would send you off to like their house or a realm to like take pictures of a motif. And there's 4 of them, and usually 3 are easy and 1 is a little tricky to find. And then once you get all 4, they give you that motif to use, and I'm just like, eh. I did it just for completion's sake. I didn't care. The motifs aren't that interesting. So I was like, whatever. I also don't really design clothes with the motifs and stuff, so I'm like, whatever, I don't care. But I do feel like I need to get back to the Hercules and quests because I'm like at the end of their friendship quests. I'm doing Phil's final one right now, and I still have to finish Hercules's. And I am like, I suddenly realized I'm like, oh, I should probably do that because like next week, the Wreck-It Ralph update is coming, and then I got to deal with him. So at least it's only 1 character's side friendship quest and not 2. So that'll be a little easier, I guess. But like that's coming up, and I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna be behind. So let me hurry and finish these before he shows up. And then I just got too much to do. And then when am I gonna find time for the Sinking City? I gotta save the city. I don't think I'm gonna. I do not think it will end well, that game. But the story, I mean, you know. But I gotta try. So anyway, that's enough. I've rambled on far too long. I'll try to keep it shorter next time. It'll only be 1 week to cover, so it should be shorter. I promise. I'll try. Bye!